Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is February 11th, 2024, and Barcelona just drew 3-3 at Montjuic against the second to last team on the table, Granada, in what was yet another chaotic match, but a masterclass by the 16-year-old Lamine Yamal, who had to step in order to help what's supposed to be one of the best teams in the world salvage 1 point again against the second to last team on the table. This is the post-match live analysis. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and this is the post-match live analysis where we analyze Barcelona matches as soon as they end and where I get to interact with all of you live by reading your comments out loud, answering any questions, and getting a discussion going. This is not to be confused with the Barca News podcast, where we discuss Barcelona news and which is scheduled on every Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, having said that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. Both links for kit bag and bet us are down below in the description. Now, let's start with the post-match live analysis because Barcelona just drew 3-3 against Granada, who are second to last on the La Liga table, in what was a chaotic match, but in a match where Lamine Yamal was not only the MVP, but gave us an absolute masterclass of a performance. And I have to say at this point, honestly, I'm keeping my expectations extremely low. Before the match began, I actually texted some friends. I said, hey, are you guys ready to be disappointed? I was joking, but at the same time, I wasn't, because I think this is the reality of the team from here until the end of the season. I think at this point, I've resigned myself. This is what we have. It's not going to get better until the next season. So for now, I'm just keeping my expectations super low. I'm not expecting anything from the team. All I'm expecting is to finish in the top 4 spots of La Liga. And by the grace of God, to get past Napoli, which with every match is looking less and less likely. So I think if you, as a Barcelona fan, want to maintain your sanity, want to maintain your anxiety levels low, I think this is a good advice. Just keep your expectations low. Focus on the positives, because despite the not so good result today, there were some positives, which I will discuss in a little bit. But real quick, I'm just going to do a quick summary of the match. I think the best way to describe it, and a friend of mine said this, he texted me during the match, he said, welcome to your Sunday league team. And I think that's the best way to describe Barcelona's current state. It's a Sunday league team. And what do I mean by that? I don't know if any of you have ever played a Sunday league with your friends, formed a team, joined the league and played. When you do that, you don't really show up to practices and draw up plays and then practice those plays over and over again until you get better. And then you get to the match day and you actually execute those plays and you choose the plays based on your opponent. That's not really what you do in a Sunday league. In a Sunday league, you just show up the day of the match with your friends, you put on your gear, you go on the field, and you just play. And you just react to the match as it goes by. And that's pretty much what FC Barcelona is today. It's a Sunday league team. It's a team with no tactics. It's a team with no plays. It's a team with no mechanized movements or mechanized passes. It's a team where the players just show up to the match, put on their uniforms, and let's figure it out as it goes. And that's exactly what this team is. Now, we all expect Granada to defend with a low block, park the bus, 2 lines of 5, but that's actually not what they did. They formed a really high defensive line. I think it was about in the 30% line of the field. And you would expect any decent team to exploit that because there was so much space between the goalkeeper and Granada's defensive line that any decent team, not great team, I'm not talking about Real Madrid, no, any decent team, mid-table team, could have easily exploited that. But no, we didn't. Why? Because again, this team has absolutely no tactics, no strategies, just no idea what to do. Again, 11 players on the field, just figuring out as the match goes. A Sunday league team. And that's exactly what was going on today. Up to the point that we needed a 16-year-old, a child, who should be playing with the Juvenil A or with Barca Athletic. But we expect a child to carry us and to single-handedly score 2 goals. But that's the state of the team that we're in. Or we have to depend on a 16-year-old who should not have the responsibility, by the way, to begin with. Lamine Yamal should not have the responsibility of scoring goals, of salvaging points, of winning as matches. He should be playing for the sake of playing. He should be just playing in order to grow, in order to develop, in order to learn. Ideally, he should be playing with Barca Athletic. But when you have a team with no idea how to play football, you have to depend on individual players. And when you have to depend on individual players, you gotta hope that people like Lamine Yamal show up, that people like Gundogan show up because he did have a great match. And that's where we at. But yet there's people who still defend Xavi, who say, no, it's not Xavi, it's the players. Well, today the players showed up. Gundogan had a great match. Pedri had a great match. Lamine had a great match. Lewandowski scored. The players showed up today. But the team still struggled. Why? Because a team with no structure, a team with no organization, a team with no tactics is going to struggle against any team, even bottom of the table teams. It's just the reality of modern football. This is a different time where we cannot just depend on 11 players, just tell them, go out there, play your best, have fun. It doesn't work like that anymore. Because now even the smallest teams, even third, fourth division teams are so well organized that even a small team can completely derail a big team. Why? Because modern football has evolved. And when you have a well-structured team, that team can still do a lot of damage no matter who they're playing against, no matter how many stars the opposing team has. And in the case of Barcelona, there's zero organization, zero structure. Again, a Sunday league team. And today the players showed up. But no matter how good the players play, no matter what stars you have, whether we have Florian Wirtz and Mbappe and all these stars, Leao, all these stars that people want to see on the team, even if we had all of them, the results won't change. Because again, a team without structure, a team without football, a team that has to depend on individual players is not a team. People killed Iñaki Peña. Oh, he's garbage. Look at all the goals he's allowed. Get him out of the team. He's trash. Mark ter Stegen comes back. 3 goals on his first match back. And I'm not saying that Mark ter Stegen is bad. He's not. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. There's no doubt about that. But again, that's what happens when you have a team with no structure, no organization, no tactics, no strategy, nothing. Barcelona got nothing. Absolutely nothing. But that's where we at. Again, it's better if you keep your expectations low. I think the rest of the season is going to be extremely long. We're going to have a lot of ups and downs, a lot of heartache. Keep your expectations low. The only thing I'm praying for right now is that we secure top 4 spots. That's it. Because besides that, we're not going to see any improvement. The team hasn't improved in 2.5 years under Xavi. It's not going to improve now. The team hasn't improved all season. It's not going to improve now. So the only thing I'm praying for is a top 4 finish. And hopefully we can get past Napoli. I see it very difficult, but who knows? Anyways, let's start with the chat section and then we'll look at the lineup. I do want to focus on the positive things again. I've resigned myself that this team is just going to keep playing like this until Xabi leaves. Nothing's going to change. So I do want to focus on a few positive things. But let's do the chat section. I know you guys have a lot to say. Let's see. Blaurana Kule says, yet again, we give up points against a bottom feeder team. The defense need a total scrub this summer and completely rebuild. Okay, it's not a defense issue. We have some of the best defenders in the world. Anybody would love to have people like Pau Cuarci, like Araujo, like Christensen. Kounde might not be in the best form, but he's still top center back. It's not a defense issue. It's the whole team. Again, when you have a team with no structure, it doesn't matter who you have. You can sign the best defenders per position. You can have, I don't know, De Ligt. You can bring in Van Dijk. You can bring the best defenders on the planet. The results are going to be the same. It doesn't matter. When you have a team with no structure, it doesn't matter who you have on the team. And that's what people need to understand. Because I keep seeing people just trying to blame someone, right? Because it's our nature. As human beings, we like to scapegoat. We see something that's not going well, we have to blame somebody. Who do we blame? Oh, I don't know. It's Kounde. I don't know. It's Lewandowski. I don't know. And yeah, sure, all the players do have their part of their fault. But at the end of the day, this is a team that would know football. So it doesn't matter who you have playing. The results are going to be the same. We took out Iñaki. We brought in Ter Stegen. Same result. 3 goals. Right? And again, not to take anything away from Ter Stegen. He's the best goalkeeper in the world, undoubtedly. But when your team is completely fractured, it doesn't matter who you have. It doesn't matter if we had Messi right now on the field, it would have been the same result. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. Fumlani says, watching your team knowing very well they will allow goals against them at all the times is draining. Still trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with the defense. Again, not that the defense is just an entire team. When your midfield is as porous as Swiss cheese, doesn't matter what defenders you have, they're still going to concede. When your attacking line does not know how to pressure and how to get the ball back when they lose it, your midfield is going to struggle. And when your midfield struggles, when your defense struggles, your goalkeeper is going to struggle, no matter who we have. We can bring in Neuer and Ter Stegen, and at the same time have them next to each other defending the goal. We're still going to concede goals. It's just, that's how it is. Let's see. Rakita says, this was our chance to close gap to Girona within 3 points, but the players didn't get the memo. Again, it's not the players. The players actually showed up today. A lot of players had good matches today. But like I said, a team with no structure, a team with nothing, it's still not a team. And we'll do one more. And Kelvin says, it was our chance. Oh, wait. This is the same message. Here we go. Majesty says, whenever we score, we turn ourselves to a small team and keep defending goal only. It's not even that. Whenever we score, it's just like the team is like, all right, cool. It's like they're playing, what was that format? Golden goal, where whoever scores first wins the match. And that's what the team seems like. It's like a golden goal. It's like, we scored. That's it. It's over. Come on, let's go home. And then they just fall asleep. But anyways, let's get back to the match analysis. I do want to talk about the lineup. I want to talk a little bit about a few players. And then I do want to focus, of course, on the positive things. But let's look at the lineup. Because this is the lineup that Xavi Hernández started with. Of course, Ter Stegen making his way back to the lineup. First time since November. Of course, he missed 3 months due to injury. We had Joao Cancelo on the left, Íñigo and Pau Cuarci as our 2 center backs, and Jules Kounde on the right. Christensen once again in that pivot position with Gundogan and Frankie as the interiors. And then we have Robert Lewandowski as our center forward with Lamine Yamal and Pedri on the wings. I have to say, it's really good to have Ter Stegen back. It's good to know that, the best goalkeeper is back, healthy. He looked good to me. It looks like he is fully healed. Of course, the reports are saying that the coaches are actually saying that he's in better shape than before the injury. So that's pretty good to see. I saw him pretty good today. He didn't look like slow to me or lagging or anything. So it's really good to see that not only that Ter Stegen's back, it's good to see that he's healthy as well. And then I do have to make a note about the center backs because Cuarci and Íñigo did not have a good match. And I have to say, you can really see the difference when Araujo is on the field. And I say that because we've seen a lot of pairings throughout the season. We've seen, and last season, of course, we've seen Araujo and Kounde do great together. We've seen Araujo and Christensen do great together. We've seen Araujo and Inigo doing great together. And we've seen Araujo and Pau Cubarsí doing great together. But then we've also seen pairings without Araujo, right? We've seen Christensen and Kounde. We've seen Christensen and Inigo. Today we saw Inigo and Cubarsí. And none of those pairings were as good as when those same players were paired with Araujo. And when you do the math, the common denominator in all those great pairings is Ronald Araujo. Not to take away anything from the other center backs, because Cubarsí, Inigo, Kounde, Christensen are all great center backs. But what a difference it makes when no center backs are paired with Araujo. I think we have definitely seen that our defense without Araujo is like our midfield without Pedri or without Frankie. And it makes a huge, huge difference because it was not a great match by Inigo and Cubarsí. Maybe it's because Inigo just came back from injury, so he's still getting that competitive rhythm back. That could be it, but not the best match by our two center backs. Joao Cancelo. And this is why I keep saying that the jury is still out on Joao Cancelo, because on the left flank, I think he is lethal as far as the attack. We saw how he was causing a lot of headache, making those deep runs, completely disorganized Granada's defense. He set up that assist to Lamine Yamal first goal. And I think he's a lot more lethal on the left than he is on the right. And that was also true at Manchester City. He was much better on the left than on the right, even though he's technically a right back. Very lethal on the left. I like him better on the left as far as the attack. But also, the goals came from his side. And that just shows the defensive issues or the defensive weaknesses that Joao Cancelo leaves you with when he plays on a field. And that's why I say the jury's still out on him. A lot of people are like, yeah, let's sign him. I'm like, I don't know. I like him in the attack a lot. I think he's great in the attack. But his defensive skills or abilities, whatever you want to call them, do not fully convince me. So I still don't know whether he would be a good investment to make, especially because he is 29, also coming to 30. I'm not fully sold. Of course, Joao Felix have said, no way. The only money we should spend on Felix is first way ticket to Madrid. Joao Cancelo, I'm still not sold. Maybe he should play more as a winger. We don't have anyone to play as a left winger. Maybe put Joao Cancelo on the left wing and have someone else cover the left back position. Maybe that would be better. But Joao Cancelo still leaves a lot to be desired as far as the defense. His offense, impeccable. His defense, it's in trouble. And then the last one I want to talk about is Jules Kounde, because I don't understand why Jules Kounde hates to play on the right back position, because he provides a lot to the team when it comes to attack. He had several plays where he made those deep runs and came really close to assisting because he has really good deep runs. So I don't know why he does not like to play on the right back. I really like when Jules Kounde plays on the right back, but I don't understand it. He plays there with the French team as well, so I don't get it. But I have to say, a few good runs by Jules Kounde. If he can do that more often, I think he will be a lot more damaging. But I definitely like him there. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, let's get back. Let's do a few more comments, and then we continue talking about the lineup and then the rest of the players as well. But let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Trochet says, Mo, who do you think to blame for the 3 goals? Like I said, a team with no structure, with nothing, is going to fall apart against whoever, because you cannot just depend on individual talent. You can't. Evan says, what's the need in identifying young talents if you won't use them correctly? Cancelo's not disciplined, and it felt like Hector Fort should have played this match. The young players have more desire. Yeah, I think I agree. I think, again, like I just said about Cancelo, I think maybe if we played Cancelo on the wing and have Hector Fort cover that position, maybe that would be a better option, because Hector Fort, is much better defensively, which he shouldn't be because he's still a kid. He's still learning, but he is much better defensively than Cancelo. So maybe have Cancelo play as a winger rather than as a fullback, because he definitely leaves us exposed defensively. I mean, the goals came from his side. Mo Muataz says the fact that he started with Inigo is crazy and Ter Stegen, like, I wouldn't say it's crazy. I mean, before Inigo's injury, he was being absolutely phenomenal with Araujo. I wouldn't say that's crazy at all. Oxy says, not that we're not winning the league or UCL and Xavi's going to leave anyway, why don't we just bring Flick, our next coach, right now? Who cares? Financial fair play cares. Right now, we cannot register anyone or anything because our financial fair play. So no, we cannot bring someone right now because we wouldn't be able to register that coach's contract. What we would be able to do if we did fire Xavi is bring in Rafa Marquez and have him coach the team for the rest of the season because his contract is already registered. But I don't know if that would make anything better. I think if anything, it would make things worse because the team is not going to improve from here until the end of the season. It's impossible. There's not enough time. Even if Marquez was a better coach than Xavi, which I don't think he is, I think he's still inexperienced, just like Xavi. So things are not going to improve. And the only thing you're doing is now you have two coaches that the fans hate, not just Xavi, but now Rafa Marquez. So I think Rafa Marquez is better staying with Barca Athletic. Let him finish the season with them. Let him keep getting experience, getting improvement, rather than promoting him to the first team and then having them take the brunt of what's inevitably going to happen, which is nothing. The team is not going to improve because, again, Marquez is just as inexperienced as Xavi. And even if he was better than Xavi, there's really not enough time to turn things around. There really isn't. Okay, let's see. What else? Dory says, hey, Mo, finally catching the live from Germany. I'm sorry for all of our really good players that show up and fight and can't change much because they have no patterns of play. Thank you, Dory. Exactly. 100%. You nailed it on the nose. It's not that the defense sucks. It's not this player sucks or that player sucks or whatever. There's no patterns. There's nothing. There's nothing. This is just a Sunday league team. No strategies, no tactics, no plays, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it doesn't matter who you have. We can sign Mbappe on the left tomorrow, bring in Haaland to be our center forward, bring in Rodri to be our pivot, bring in, I don't know, anybody, Van Dijk to help our defense, and things are not going to change. Maybe we'll score a few more goals here and there, but things are not going to change. It's still going to be a fractured team with no identity because we might forget this because we're doing so bad, but we have some of the best players in their positions. People forget that because we are doing bad. Like Pedri, Gavi, sure, he's injured, but Pedri, Gavi, Frankie, Gundogan, Lamine, Ter Stegen, Araujo, Cancelo, like these are some of the best players in the world. It's not a matter of lacking talent. It's just a matter that there's no structure. There's nothing. So, and when there's no structure, there's nothing. These players cannot succeed. Nobody can. It's total chaos. It's a free-for-all. It's just freestyle. It's like, street football. Let's just get out in the field and just freestyle and see what comes out of it. And you can't do that in professional football. In modern professional football, you can't do that. You can't freestyle your way through because all teams are now really well structured, really well organized. Even third, fourth division teams are really well organized and well structured. And when you face a well-organized team, you have to also be well organized in order to beat them. Otherwise, they're going to cause you damage. Granada, for example. Today, they cause us damage. Villarreal. We make small teams look big. We make small teams look great because how disorganized our team is. And that's strictly the coach's fault. Because the person whose job is to organize the team is the coach, not the players. The players are only supposed to follow orders and be told what to do within the structure of the team. But who builds the structure? The coach. And that's what a lot of Xavi apologists don't understand. And they continue making excuses, but whose job is it to organize the team? Because if Xavi's not responsible for anything, then why even have a coach? Let's just save all that money that we spent on his salary, on his staff salary, and just let the players run the team, right? If he's not responsible for anything, let's just bring in the players and be like, all right, you guys figure it out. Which that's pretty much what's happening right now, really. We're just having the players figure it out as they go. But anyways, all right, let's continue talking about the lineup, and then we'll do a few more comments. Ilkay Gundogan, solid match. Oh, I forgot to add this. Ilkay Gundogan, I think he had a really, really solid match today. Very interactive in the midfield, combining really well, making those runs from behind, which is what he was known for in Manchester City. I think a really good match by Ilkay. Andreas Christensen, another quiet match by him in the pivot. Again, I'm not expecting much out of him. He's played for years as a center back. You throw him in the pivot position, he's not going to be killing it. But a decent match. He wasn't like horrible. He wasn't, causing us headache and with his mistakes, but he wasn't great either. It's what you expect out of someone who just started playing this position. Of course, he has played it in the past. I know, but that's not his position. Frankie being Frankie, just running all over the field, down, up, helping with the defense, helping with the offense. Not much to say there. He's been one of the most important players in our midfield the entire season. So not much to say there. And then let's talk about Lamine, because my God, Lamine Yamal, ladies and gentlemen, has been cut out of the same cloth as the greats, whether it's Messi, whether it's whoever. Lamine Yamal has been cut from the same cloth, using the same scissors, because this kid is special. This kid is very, very special. You see it in the way he reads the field. You see it in the way he makes the runs, even without the ball, the way he positions himself, the way he makes the runs to the empty space, the way he dribbles past defenders, the passes that he makes, the shots that he takes. I mean, his second goal, wow. Second goal was just he wins the ball by himself, turns around and just puts it right in the corner. I mean, this kid is special, and he's only 16 years old. I mean, not only is he not developed as a football player, he's not even developed as a human being. He's still growing as a kid. His muscles are not even fully developed. His ligaments are not even fully developed. His bones are not even fully developed. So this is not even fully developed as a human being, let alone as a player, and he's already doing this. He was a headache to Granada's defense. Can you imagine when he's a little bit older? This kid's going to be trouble for everybody. Not a lot of teams. For everybody that faces him, he's going to be a lot of trouble. A lot. And he had one play during the first half where he gets the ball, he gets fouled, and he kind of trips, but he keeps running. Then they foul him again, and he falls, but he gets up and he keeps running. And that reminded me a lot of Messi, because Messi, we used to see that all the time. He would get fouled and fouled and fouled, and he would just keep running. He would fall, get up, keep running. And I really like that, because one complaint I had about Lamine in previous matches is that as soon as they would touch him, he would just drop. He would just flop. And I didn't like that. And today I didn't see that. Today I saw more desire to just keep going, keep running. And I think that's the right attitude from him, because we've seen him, even when he's getting fouled, there's no stopping this kid. This kid is special. He is very, very special. And we're very, very lucky that we have him on our team, because he is going to do some great, great things. And I'm very happy for that. But anyways, let's get back. More lineup. Of course, Lewandowski is scoring that goal. Okay match by Lewandowski. I wouldn't say it was great, but he did his job. His job is to score goals, and that's what he did. And then Pedri, really great first half by Pedri. Not so much the second half, but Pedri's definitely getting back into form. And when Pedri's in form, the passes that he does, his vision is like no other. He really is the reincarnation. Well, not reincarnation, because he's not dead, but he really is Xavi 2.0. And let's not forget that Pedri's only 20. Xavi didn't become really that influential, that difference maker until he was maybe in his late 20s, like 27, something like that. Same with Iniesta. And Pedri's already doing what they did at 20. So when Pedri hits his prime, I think he's going to be even better than Xavi and Iniesta, because his vision, his positioning, his passing is just like no other. And it's just insane. And it's good to have him back. It really is. But again, a team with no structure is not a team at all. So it doesn't matter who we have. The result's going to be the same. But let's get back to the chat section. I don't mean to end it like that on a bad note. But let's see. What else are people saying? Obike says, Hansi Flick might be the solution. Sell the club to Saudi investors, get it out of debt, and infuse money into the... No, let's not sell the club to anybody. Club belongs to its members. It always has, and it should always be. If we sell it to Saudi, it's got to be the same thing as any other team owned by oil money. Just spending money, bringing in players, kicking out players, bringing in coaches, kicking out coaches, and just a revolving door of coaches and players with no identity, with no history, with nothing. Just a team that just spends money. No, thank you. Steve says, small teams don't fear us, playing high lines, waiting for us to make mistakes, and we make mistakes even when we are not under pressure. Agree. And Klaus, my man, says, hi, Mo. What's up, Klaus? Klaus says, top 4 is goal. It's best we can hope for. I agree 100%. And let's see. Ahmed says, Christensen at the CDM is just not good without a good chemistry at the back. I mean, look, I'm not going to say that Christensen is not good because 2 matches that he's played in that position, there's really not much to say. You can't really make a conclusion about a player's performance based on 2 matches. You need to give him a few more matches. And honestly, the season is lost at this point. So I say just keep trying him there. If Xavi's not going to count on Oriol, just keep trying Christensen there until the end of the season and see how it works out. If it works out, great. And if not, again, there's nothing to lose, really. I mean, maybe top 4 spots, but the season's lost, honestly. 4 here says, one more thing I noticed Barca while defending is that they don't make the play as small as possible, like Crow said. Agree. They just stand there and they just look at the defender with the ball, attacker with the ball, and just to see what he does. Instead of like immediately running to put pressure on the defender, they just stand there and they just spectate. And that's the wrong thing to do because you're giving the attacker all the time in the world to run, to get into position, to stop, to look around. What am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to shoot it. Let me get my body in position to shoot it. Okay, let me shoot it. You have to immediately get on him. And that way you take all that time away. And then he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I got to act quick. And then they make a mistake because they don't have enough time to make the right decision. And if they do make the right decision, they don't have enough time to execute that decision well, whether it's to kick it or to pass it, whatever. But again, it's like these players are not training any of that during training. But anyways, one more. Rohit says, hello, Mo. Unfortunately, the season is over for Barca. There's no hope for the Champions League either. Let's see what's going to happen next season. Unfortunately, yeah. Anyways, let's see. Oh, sorry, skipped it. Xavi, he got. We really have good players. No tactics. I agree. Imagine this team with Pep. I don't want to imagine because I'm only going to get my hopes up. Chuchu says, I hope Yamal leaves this clown show called The Club. I think, Chuchu, you need a new team because I've never seen someone wish their own team so much bad things. I think it's time for you to pick a new team, my friend. Carrie says, when you know what to do, you want to despise the foul, but when you have no ideas, you fall at the least touch to cover up. Good point. Anyways, let's look at La Liga table because, like some people pointed, today was our chance to make some damage, and it was definitely chance wasted. Let me see. How do I do this? There we go. I'm still getting used to this. All right. So let's look at La Liga table because yesterday, Atletico de Madrid dropped points. And we could have, had we won, we could have made the difference 5 points, which could have, cemented a little bit more our 3rd place on the table. But instead, we dropped points too. So now Atletico Madrid are only 3 points behind us, which is not a lot. At the end of the day, we do have to face Atletico Madrid down the road. And if they beat us, which they could easily do, then the 3rd place is at risk. And we drop to 4th. And who comes right behind us will be Athletic Club de Bilbao, who currently have 45 points, but they haven't played their match. So if they win, they will be tied with Atletico de Madrid on points. And again, they could easily take the 4th spot too, leaving us out of the Champions League. And one thing people don't understand is that we have to qualify to the Champions League. Otherwise, the club is at risk financially. So not only would this be a sporting disaster, it would be a financial disaster. But let's look at the top 2 spots because Girona lost against Madrid. They were 6 points ahead of us. Had we won, we would have cut the distance to 3 points only, which is not a lot. But instead, we decided to drop points, and now there's 5 points between us and Girona. And of course, we still have to face them, which is not looking good because they already humiliated once. They could probably humiliate us again and increase the distance. And of course, Madrid right now is at 10 points. I don't think we're going to catch up to them unless somehow Real Madrid starts to struggle and lose matches and draw matches, and then we somehow have a perfect season. I don't think we're catching up. I think at this point, Madrid has probably won the Liga. Of course, they could stumble and Girona could end up strong. But if there's anyone who can still has a chance of catching up to Madrid, is Girona. I don't think we do. So that's where we at right now. Not to bum you guys out, but that's what I mean when I say that this season is mostly done. But let's look at the bottom, by the way, because here we have Almeria and Granada. 2 bottom teams who have both we struggled against. If Granada have only 13 points and they score 3 goals against us in our home stadium. And then Almeria, who have 6 points, haven't won a single match, who we also struggle against. Absolutely insane, by the way. But like I said before, we make teams look great. And that's one thing we've done really well this season. By the way, Xavi hasn't beaten Granada once since he became coach. This was the fourth draw in a row. But people keep defending Xavi. He's not the problem. Well, if the coach of a team is not the problem for how the team is performing, then who is? My neighbor? Not like my neighbor. Let's not blame him. All right, let's do a few more comments and then we'll end the live stream. Thomas says, maybe Ansu Fati will do good on wing along Vitor and Lamine. Look, if Ansu can stay healthy, I'm all for it. A lot of people forget how talented Ansu Fati is. Before his injuries, the thing he was doing, he was like Lamine, maybe not as good, but we forget that at 17, 18 years old, he was playing in a first team with ease, scoring goals, providing assists, dribbling past defenders on the left wing. He was doing a lot of damage at 18 years old, and not a lot of players can do that at that age. We forget that. So if Ansu can stay healthy, I'm all for it having him on the left wing. Of course, we would still need someone else because we can't just have him. But let's see. Andreas says, we really don't have the structure because no one closes down any crosses or passes in dangerous areas. Agree. Hamza says, Kouarsi will be next level in a couple of years. The kid is so calm under pressure and his passing range is easily the best of any CB we have. 100% agree with you. Kouarsi is not only amazing defensively, the way he handles the ball, coming out with the ball from the back is absolutely amazing. I mean, and he's just turned 17, by the way. Like, once he turns 20 in 3 years, he's going to be one of the best center backs, undoubtedly. Very impressive kid. Didn't have the best matches today, but what do you expect? He's 17 years old. Well, what am I going to do? Say he sucks? He doesn't. Dory says, I'm just wondering whether we could have someone else within the club help Xavi out a little, at least make sure we get our qualification to the Champions League. I don't trust Xavi to do that, to be honest. I mean, who? That's the question. And that's something I talked about in a previous live stream. I said one of Xavi's biggest mistakes was that he surrounded himself with so many low experienced people. His staff is extremely inexperienced. And that was a big mistake by Xavi because obviously what's going on, there's a disconnect between Xavi's vision and ideas of how football should be played and what he is actually teaching the players. Because we can't say that Xavi doesn't understand football. That will be delusion. Of course he does. He was one of the greatest players in history. He won 2 trebles. Like, he's obviously, we've all seen him play. He's obviously a genius when it comes to football. But I think he lacks that teaching method. He doesn't know how to apply what's in his head to the field. And then his mistake was surrounding himself with experienced people, because if he was inexperienced, he should have surrounded himself with experienced people who can teach his ideas. Because if he can't teach his own ideas, let the people around you teach them. But he instead opted to surround himself with inexperienced people, and that was a big mistake. But anyways, let's see. Arian says, who do you think we should sell at the end of the season? My shot would be Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Kounde if necessary. That's difficult. Let's start. Let's see. Lewandowski, Oriol Romeo, return Joao Felix. Cancelo only sign him if they agree to a super low price, like 20 mil maybe. If not, return Cancelo to obviously Rafinha. Rafinha should have been sold last summer, but here we are. Ferran, I love Ferran, but he's not Barca level. Let's be honest. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, yes, he runs his ass off, and he gives it his all, and he has scored goals, but he's still not Barca level. What else? Let's see. We said Ferran, Rafinha, Lewy, Romeo. What other players? Christensen, only for business decision, because again, he arrived for free, has a market value of 40, so we can cash out. That can help us a lot. So yeah. Frankie, someone said sell Frankie. Frankie only if he wants to leave, because Frankie should not be sold. Frankie has become an extremely important player. He's probably one of the best players on the squad. Not probably, is one of the best players on the squad. So I wouldn't want to sell Frankie unless he wants to leave. If he wants to leave, obviously sell him. You can't keep a player that doesn't want to be there. So yes, sell him. And I think that's it. Obviously the loanees, Lenglet, Serginho Dest, get rid of those guys. And yeah, if I'm forgetting someone, I'm sorry, but my head is not in the best place right now. I had a very long night. Anyways, Firas says, surely we've got a team that can compete even in UCL. I'm sad that Xavi's not able to utilize the players. If we had a strong assistant, I think he would have been able to do better. I agree. He should have surrounded himself with a better staff, but here we are. By the way, I do have news. Speaking of staff, I do have news about Hansi Flick. So having said that, let's end the live stream because I do have to make the news video. But thank you guys for tuning in, for your likes, subscriptions, comments. You guys are the best. I will see you in the news video. I should upload it in the next hour or two. Oh, crap. There's the Super Bowl. Maybe I'll just skip the Super Bowl. Who cares? Anyways, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. As always, Visca Barça.